This is the
No, I
funniest thing
saw
that
what happened last night, but at
I
the
don't
end
think
of the
you did.
day, at the
I don't
end
think
of
you
the
did.
day, no, at the end
I
of the
don't
day, if Durant and Kyrie and who knows when Ben Simmons gonna come back and play,
You'll have to play.
and
You
Seth
have to play some
Curry,
playoffs.
if they don't make the playoffs,
Look,
it is inconsequential because Harden and Philly win the trade because they're in the playoffs and they're
and
playing
won't go
postseason
nowhere,
basketball.
and still won't beat Milwaukee, still won't beat Miami. So you got rid of your depth. You picked up James Harden, and you can't even beat a Brooklyn Nets team that don't have Ben Simmons.
Yeah. Sports show. Yeah. Sports show. Yeah. Sports show. We get it on. Yeah. Sports show. Yeah. Sports show. Yeah. Sports show. We get it on.
Yeah.
Yerrr.
He's a hoe.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Yerrr Sports Show, episode 98. I am your host. I guess I gotta mute Matt since he won't let me get through my introduction. I am your host, Big Baby, aka the Soul of R&B. And to my right, the one that's eating crackers, he's muted, BK Matt, because Daryl Morey is, in fact, a hoe. I do agree with him on that. And we have Pete. I only bet 1,500. Rosado. Out on business. Queen Tay. You know, we always looking out for you, Queen. So shout out to Queen. She's out on business right now. So shout out to
Remember,
Queen.
kids, only bet 1,500. Just don't bet on your own team, but only bet 1,500.
Don't bet on James Harden.
Well,
don't do it.
Well, we're gonna jump right into that. So the net molly-whopped Philadelphia last night, and depending on when you listen to this, it would have been on Thursday night, right? Thursday night. So I tell you what, it wasn't only the stars that came out tonight for Brooklyn. The role players, James Johnson, who I thought was a really, really good pickup for the Nets, a very underrated pickup for the Nets because of what he does. I'm focusing on James Johnson. Bruce Brown been there long enough.
But he played great.
It's about time, but when James Johnson did it all on the floor last night. Steph Curry with his 3 threes. But
the blood of Jesus.
Let's talk about how Philadelphia kind of shit the bed this game. Pete, we're gonna start with you.
Say Joel Embiid and James Harden. You better say it right.
Philadelphia shit the bed this game. How, Pete? You can start.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I mean, it was a terrible game for Philly across the board, and Kyrie decided to be Mr. Defense in this game and completely lock down James Harden, which again, when Kyrie Irving is on top of his game, and we've seen it already twice this week, offensively and defensively, when he is at 100% and playing to his best, he is a great player. I don't think he's transcendent, as I've said on this show before, but I do agree that he is a great player, right? And he showed that. At the end of the day, though, you know, and we were talking about this slightly before the show, you know, the question of, it's one game. This game did not clinch a playoff spot for Brooklyn. This game did not get Brooklyn any further in their hunt for the playoff spot, right? It kind of really did nothing for them except embarrass Philadelphia and say, hey, we've got more firepower than you do. But at the end of the day, Philly still is, what, if I'm not mistaken, the number, 1 seed or 2 seed? The 3 seed in the playoff, going in the Eastern Conference, going into the playoffs right now. They are a top 3 seed and could probably break into the top 2 and get a bye in the first round if they continue to play at a high level. At the end of the day, the Nets need to do a lot. They need to win more. They need to be almost win 70% of their remaining games, and have teams lose a lot of games for them to avoid the play-in series. And God only knows if they have to go to the play-in series, if they continue further in playoff basketball. Look, it was one game. It was great. The Nets looked fantastic. It makes you salivate because it makes you say, hey, what could this team be if Ben Simmons comes back and this team is playing like this and firing on all cylinders? It makes you think of what possibly could be, and it looks great, but there's still a lot of what ifs, okay? And Philly can afford to have a couple of bad games. It was just a very bad game against a team that at this moment in time, they should not have had a bad game against.
Matt, your thoughts on last night's game? I know you said it wasn't so much like Philly shit in the bed, but it was more or less James Harden and Joel Embiid. What are your thoughts on those two?
I just think Kendrick Perkins needs to shut the hell up. I think a lot of people that agreed with Kendrick Perkins that said that Joel Embiid and James Harden are the next, or is this what this generation's Kobe and Shaq? No, not Kobe and Shaq. He updated it to Kareem and Magic. That's what he said. That's what I heard, right? Yeah,
he did say. I did hear Kareem and Magic. I was like,
what are they beating you with your freaking smothered pork chop sandwich eating ass? I don't understand why everybody got it. Like, I don't understand why everybody do this 1-2 punch thing and then they automatically go Kobe, Shaq, or Kareem and Magic. No, hell no. Like, granted, Joel Embiid is a monster. It looked like it last night, but he's a monster. James Harden, when he shows up, you know, he's a really good, great player. Like one of the most prolific scorers that, you know, we've ever seen. Didn't show last night, but it says. That's what they say. That's what people say. I agree with it, but when it comes to big moments, he falls relatively short. When the moments arrive and you're supposed to play like how you're supposed to play, you know, Daryl Morey is looking like a real hoe right now because he gave up everything for James Harden, boy. For James Harden, and it didn't take nothing last night. It didn't show like nothing last night. He had 11 points.
So the problem what I have with one of your statements, because everything else you said was facts. The only problem I have with one of your statements is it goes back to an argument we've had plenty of times about James Harden not showing up in big moments. And then you would say that, well, this down and third happened for James Harden to not have the big moment. We'll talk about in the playoffs. Now, Can we agree that James Harden just don't show up in good moments, especially after this Brooklyn game? Because it don't get no bigger than this right now. Like,
man, his track record is looking bad. Like I said, I'm reserving hope because he has, like I said, the 76, like Pete said, I agree with Pete. The 76ers are not a bad team. I'm a little iffy.
Far from a bad team.
I'm a little iffy on their coaching because, like I said, we didn't get to it, but I was getting to it, but Dre had the question. They were getting smacked going into the halftime, and Doc didn't make no adjustments. So I'm really, it posed the question, and I think Shaq wrote the question today. Is Spo a top 5 coach of all time? And I'm saying, really, you questioning Spo. I think we all really need to question Doc Rivers.
I wouldn't say all time, but I definitely would say of the last 20 years, he's definitely a top 5 coach.
But I feel like
all time, I think Spo might be top 10.
He might, he
definitely a top 10 coach, but not top 5. I mean, how you gonna put him up against Popovich, Phil Jackson?
He'd be 10.
Chuck Daly, Larry Brown, guys like that. I don't think you really.
That might be 10.
Yeah, you know, you can't.
Got more rings than Doc.
Yeah, Spo, you can make an argument for him being in the top 10.
Making that top 10.
He's looking like it. You should have been way too many times.
He's falling out that top 10.
Lord knows, like it's looking spooky out here. And it, like I said, Pete saying the Sixers are in good standings. They got a short ass window to prove something. They got this year and possibly next year to win a championship, make the finals or something.
I mean, and they do this next year because Harden opted in.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I said. They got 2 years. Like relatively honestly, this year. If they don't make the finals this year, it's a wrap for them next year. Because
but they're not making the finals this year. You know that.
But that's why I'm trying to tell Pete. I don't think the Sixers won this trade because you said, well, when is Ben Simmons going to get on the court? Cool, that's all cool. But we all fail to realize Ben Simmons really don't have to do nothing but play defense and facilitate the ball. He's going to fit in. And Brooklyn did something that we all sat there and said that was the biggest problem. They played with a sense of urgency and they defended. They had Joel Embiid in shackles. Boy had 20-something points, and 19 of it was from free throws. That tells you something. That tells you a lot. Andre Drummond and Nick Claxton, and I'm freaking shocked Nick Claxton was doing something. But Nick Claxton and Andre Drummond had that man on lock. Lock. It was Rikers Island. It was bad. It was looking real bad.
Drummond, you know what the Nets did? And shout out to Kofi Weedson thinking I'm rolling up. You know I don't smoke because of work priorities. But
pass that over here. It's the weekend. I'm good.
I mean, I'm out 6 weeks. Shoot.
But James Johnson, like I said, I go back to James Johnson. James Johnson is guarding every position on the floor. Kyrie Irving got 2 blocks himself.
Yo, Kyrie turned into he was a defensive machine on hard.
2 blocks and 5 steals. I'm like, huh? Bro,
not even just him.
Seth too.
Dragic and Seth. They had James Harden.
And Dragic is the best defender out of all of them.
No, they had James Harden so I'm not going to say just that. Kyrie Irving got something on James Harden because for some reason, like, I'm really starting to believe that rumor is true. He was mad he couldn't beat Kyrie Irving on one-on-one, so he wanted to get the fuck up out of Brooklyn. Something going on. Because
he was playing like a hoe that night, too. Like, he was playing like a hoe that night.
Oh, my God. He was looking like how he was looking the game before he left when he had 4 points. Punk ass. Sorry, I'm still upset.
But, I mean, look, at the end of the day right now, Brooklyn is in the 8th spot. You know, they're 2 games away from being 9 and 10 because both Atlanta and Charlotte are only 2 games away from 8. They're only 2 games away from 7, you know, which I think is the highest they're going to get because I really doubt they're going to get into the 6th spot because Cleveland's going to have to do a lot of losing and Brooklyn's going to have to do a lot of winning for Brooklyn to get out.
But they don't got Jared Allen.
Yeah, but still, you got a 5-game, you have a 10-game lead essentially because you're 5 games ahead of them. But you need to lose 5. They need to win 5, and then you're still only tied, right? So at the end of the day, I think
they're the tiebreaker. Somebody has a tiebreaker. I don't know who has a tiebreaker, but yeah.
So, but right now, I mean, listen, Brooklyn's got to worry about getting out of the play-in and trying to play real playoff basketball. I honestly think Philly can make it to the 2nd round because I think Philly can beat Cleveland because. Right now, if the standings stay the way that it is, Philly plays Cleveland in the 1st round. And I think they can beat Cleveland. I really do think they can beat Cleveland because Miami and Milwaukee are going to get, if I'm not mistaken, Miami and Milwaukee are going to get a bye.
No buys. No buys.
They're playing Brooklyn. That's not no buy.
Remember this is NBA. I don't know why you said buy. Miami and Brooklyn are playing the 8th and the 9th.
All right, so then you got Miami playing either Toronto and Atlanta, and Milwaukee playing either Brooklyn or Charlotte.
Those are hard games, except the Charlotte game. But
Philly's got, like I said, Philly's got to play Cleveland.
Yeah, and if they can lose, they will lose to Cleveland if they do what the Nets did.
Bro. Jared
Allen's not hurt. He's not hurt for the season.
He got a fractured finger. He might need surgery. We don't know that yet. They haven't announced nothing yet.
That's what I'm saying. So, I think Philly can easily beat Cleveland. Cleveland's a very good young team. They have a lot of great young pieces.
They might lose that spot, is what I'm trying to explain to you. If
they lose that spot, I think they're more likely to lose that spot to Toronto, who's only 3 games away from that spot, than they are to Brooklyn. Brooklyn, again, is 5 games away from that spot.
And how many games does Brooklyn have left?
That's shit.
Brooklyn's what? They played 67 games?
So yeah.
So what? 15 games left?
15 games left. How many of those are away games?
4. 4.
4 out of those 15 games they have to win. Those are must wins. The games that Kyrie are playing, those are must wins. And
their remaining schedule. The Nets.
What are those 4 away games?
Their 4 away games are at Orlando, at Memphis, at Miami, at Atlanta, and then at New York.
Okay, so they have 5. They have 5 games left. 5 away games left. Oh no, actually, no. Kyrie can't play in New York. So those four away games, right? That's one.
I don't think they beat Miami.
That's 1 out of 3. That's what
I do.
Like, bro.
They beat them. They beat Miami without Kyrie. What are you talking about? I believe they could beat them.
Right now, look, their remaining games.
Miami wasn't healthy when they beat them. Remember that?
They have a somewhat easy schedule. I see 3 or 4 very tough games on this schedule. But right now, the next remaining schedule is home against the Knicks, away against Orlando, home against Dallas, Portland, and Utah, on the road against Memphis and Miami, at home against Charlotte, Detroit, and Milwaukee, away against Atlanta, home against Houston, away at the in MSG against the Knicks, and then they finish at home with Cleveland and Indiana.
So
I'm seeing, Portland is injured right now, so they can beat Portland. Utah's going to be a tough game. Memphis is going to play them tough because Memphis plays everybody tough. Miami's going to be a tough game. That Charlotte game is going to be a playoff, basically a playoff seeding game. Even though Charlotte's not as good, Charlotte's in the hunt, so they're going to be playing for positioning. They got to play Milwaukee. Atlanta's in playoff hunt, so they got to play Atlanta. And then you end the season with New York, Cleveland, and Indiana. New York could be playing spoiler by that point, and Cleveland could be trying to get healthy for the playoffs. So, there's a couple of games there that
yeah, if it's 15 games, the Nets could go 10-5 and could probably be straight.
You can't tell me none of those games are not winnable. All of those games is winnable.
Oh no. A lot of those games are winnable.
Now Cleveland does have a very tough schedule. Cleveland has a very tough schedule over the next 15 so games. They got Miami, Chicago, the Clippers, Philly, Denver, Detroit, the Lakers, Toronto, Chicago, Orlando, Dallas, Atlanta, New York, Philly, Orlando, Brooklyn, Milwaukee. Cleveland's got a real tough schedule to end the season.
And they're injured. So what they might do is I don't think they're gonna bottom out or anything. Like, they can fight, don't get me wrong, but how far are they away from 5th?
They are 1 game out of 5th. They're 1 game out of 5th. So Boston's only 1 game ahead of them. And then they are 3 games ahead of Toronto, 5 ahead of Brooklyn.
So Toronto and Brooklyn have more of an uphill battle right now.
And Toronto has a tough schedule as well.
Right. I think before we move on, I think that those games with Kyrie, they have to win. There's no reason why they have to win. I'm not saying they're going to win, but they have to win. I think that Memphis game is going to be the toughest one. And what you just said, Matt, out of these 15 games, when does Ben Simmons come back and go with the fold? Because that can be a momentum killer. But we're gonna move on from them. Let's real quick, let's talk about the Lakers. And we're not gonna talk about the whole entire team. We're gonna talk about the King, who decided to Ben Simmons the game the other night. And I was watching on NBA TV, and James Worthy was just like, Like, all these Lakers greats are pretty much tired of the Lakers. I've never seen them so just like over the Lakers. Magic is over the Lakers. Kareem never talks about the Lakers. James Worthy be on TV killing the Lakers. So
Shaq too.
Shaq be killing Westbrook too. So we all agree.
Feel bad for Westbrook a little bit. Like, people, we talk about wrestling fans being toxic as hell, but NBA fans, especially these Laker fans,
Laker fans is toxic.
They need to stop. They out here sending death threats to the man, threatening his family. Like,
that's what I mean by like feeling bad for bro. Like, it's one thing, I get it. He's not having. This is probably his worst season since in a while. This is worst season since his second or third season, and Bro's been Iron Man, been playing good for most of his career, but this is his worst season. Huh?
No, he hasn't.
Russell Westbrook hasn't been playing good for most of his career.
This is the problem that I have with a lot of people. Everybody glorifies the triple-double aspect, and it's all cool and it's cute, but they don't pay attention to the other factors in that stat where he has like 6 or 7 turnovers, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I hate that.
Oh no, I wasn't talking about the triple-double. I wasn't talking about the triple-double.
That's what everybody talks about. This is what I mean by like everybody is attacking Russell Westbrook more so now because he's on a storied franchise right now. Yeah. And his attitude is, I don't give a fuck. That's not the attitude you have for that franchise. Boston and the Lakers, those are the 2 franchises you don't have that attitude for. It's
the
like
most winningest franchises in NBA history. You can't be like, nah, fam, I don't care.
It is what it is. No. LeBron even understands that. That's all LeBron's not getting as much smoke as he probably should deserve, or like I don't even blame LeBron. I really don't.
I blame Anthony Davis.
I blame Anthony Davis. I blame Jeannie Buss. I blame what
I know what you're talking about. It's not Frank Vogel. It's
Rob Pelinka.
It's Rob Pelinka, but it's the other dude. It's what is his name who got knocked
Rambis?
out? Yes, Kurt Rambis. Kurt Rambis. Oh, Kurt Rambis.
Because everybody wanted to make LeBron the GM and just give him everybody that he wants. You can't build like if you're running your franchise, you can get some input, but honestly, you got to figure out what works. LeBron's been in the league for 19 seasons. You know damn well he turns the ball over. You know he's not a good free throw shooter. You know he's not a good shooter. Why would you get him another player that is ball dominant, stubborn, can't hit a free throw, can't shoot worth a damn, and turn over the ball more than he do? Tell me, how does that make sense? So, granted, Russell Westbrook is playing Russell Westbrook ball, and he's even more or less confused because he doesn't even know what to do on the court with a LeBron, which is like mind-boggling to me because it's LeBron. How do you not know how to play with LeBron? That makes no sense.
Yo.
But that shows his level of IQ. And I've been saying this shit for years. Russell Westbrook is not a point guard. His IQ is ridiculously stupid. It's bad. Like, he has the IQ of Smush Parker and Kwame Brown put together. It's a peanut.
That's sick. That's sick.
Come on. I don't blame Russell Westbrook.
At the end of the day, here's the thing. The problem is they're looking at the back of the basketball card, right? They're looking at that and saying, oh my God, look at these stats. If we take this and we pair this with LeBron, it's going to be great. LeBron's going to be the floor general. Everybody's going to listen to LeBron. And this has been the problem where you have these entitled players, when you have a guy like a Russell Westbrook who's like, look who I am, look at what I can do, I'm going to play my game. Listen, Matt, you know what this is. You want to know what this is? Let's talk about something we talk about privately a lot of times, but you spent some time in the independent wrestling world, okay? You know what this is. This is the basketball equivalent of somebody saying, I got to get my shit in.
Yeah.
I got to get my shit in. Listen, right. we going to do the match, okay? And this is going to happen, but I got to make sure that I get my shit in for better or for worse. And for this year, it's been a lot of for worse for Russell Westbrook. It was fine, like you said, Matt, when you were on a losing team that was imploding. Houston didn't really have a lot of direction. Oklahoma City, when he became the number one guy, the reason why I can excuse a lot of the turnovers in his Oklahoma City days is because he was really the only offensive option that could really have the ball, right? And it was like one of those things was like, I got to do everything, right? In Houston, you had players around you that you could at least not have to be a turnover machine. But those teams weren't going anywhere. The best part of the night the reason why the fans were paying tickets to come see the team play was to see Russ go off and to see another triple-double. But like you said, this is the Los Angeles Lakers, where these fans, like New York Yankee fans, this season don't mean shit unless we in the playoffs, unless we win a title, unless we running deep. Like, the Lakers could win 82 games, go 82-0. And if they lose if they lose in the NBA Finals, it's a failure of a season for Laker fans, right? They're just like Yankee fans who are like, if we don't win the World Series every year, it's a failure no matter how good we did. You can have the MVP, the Defensive Player of the Year. It don't matter. We didn't win the chip. So in LA, Russ is out there like, I got to get my shit in. Nah, bro. This ain't about you getting your shit in. This is about us winning a championship. And if Russ could have that mindset and Russ could say, I'm going to take 5 steps back and I'm going to do some things to make this team better, the Lakers could be in a much better position than they are. But because Russ has spent this whole season wanting this to be the LeBron James and Russell Westbrook show, instead of LeBron being here and you're the supporting cast, Russ wants to be up here with LeBron. And it's blowing up in their face, and it's making Russell Westbrook into one of those players that nobody's going to want to play with.
The problem is that Russell Westbrook, they did not signify what role Russell Westbrook was going to be when he came to the Lakers, right? People were saying, yep, and people were saying, well, and people were saying, oh, Russell Westbrook is going to be there to take the ball out of LeBron's hands. I was one of those people, not going to lie. I'm going to own up to it. My thing is now looking back at it, like hindsight being 2020, like you said, Matt, why would I give the ball to someone who turns the ball over more than one of the best passers ever? Like, why would I give him the ball and then he can't shoot? So now my thing is,
he's a liability.
He's a liability right now. And then he's not playing defense either.
He's never played defense.
He's kind of camouflaged. No, I'm not saying, yeah, my man was strapping up. He's camouflaged to where it looked like it. Just like when I was saying James Harden does that too, to where it looks like James Harden's playing defense, but James Harden just comes out.
Plays the pass screen. They play the pass screen. That's all they do. They go for the pass screen.
Yeah.
Where you think that they're not paying attention and you get that little side pass and then right there, they grab it, and then that's their outlet for their bucket. And he gets his little highlight dunk. That's all Russell Westbrook does. I said Westbrook. It's bad. Westbrook. That's all Russell Westbrook does. That's 100.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's bad. So like it frustrates. But to go back to your question with LeBron and the Ben Simmons play, it's just LeBron's been doing this forever. Like forever. He's a pass first player, and it's cute. But when you're LeBron James, Mount Rushmore, second to the GOAT, maybe the GOAT of this generation, the arguments that everybody always have, you got to be held accountable. And I've been arguing with these goddamn bronzexuals all week. All week. They don't hear nothing that's being said. You give them an example, like, this is the same shit that Ben Simmons did that he got buried for. Oh, so you compare him to Ben Simmons? That's not what I said. I said, do you know that this is the same shit that Ben Simmons did that he's getting crucified for and being called soft and scared to get to the line? That's ultimately what LeBron did. He was afraid to get fouled, to go to the line and shoot clutch free throws. Nobody wants to talk about this. LeBron sucks in the clutch for free throws. I've been saying this, but because he's LeBron James and you speak the truth, you're a hater. You hate LeBron.
No, LeBron shoots under 70% free throw shooting. He barely shoots 70% for his damn career free throw shooting. So LeBron is
by the way, just really quickly,
free throw shooter.
Just to go back on something, because we were talking about them just a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah.
The Cavs are staying with the Heat right now, and the Cavs have talking about how tough the Cavs have it. The Cavs are staying bucket for bucket with the Heat. They're only down by like 5 right now in the third quarter. So
The Cavs is one of those young teams, just like the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies on a different level. I'm talking about like in terms of playing hard. They play hard. The Cavs will play hard, and if they had Colin Sexton, man,
Darius Garland is playing out his mind.
They would be. I think they would be third seed. I think they would be third seed this year. I think they would.
I like that they're coming up. They're rising, right? They're literally like the Memphis Grizzlies of the Eastern Conference.
Come home, LeBron.
They are.
Come home, LeBron.
Which is amazing to see. And I don't think LeBron should go back to Cleveland because it's just going to fuck that whole team up. And I'm being 100 because you got to give up pieces in order to get them. And I like
unless he goes there on like a.
He's not.
I'm just going just.
Doesn't his contract one more year, right?
No, he resigned.
He resigned. No.
Yes, he did.
No.
Check it again. Yes, he did.
He has one more year. Yes.
No, not one more year.
Until Bronny. Yeah, Bronny's a senior next year. So then he has another. He has an option on that
contract
next year. So
the 22-23 season.
Yeah.
That must have been last year he resigned.
Yeah, he did his little 1+1 deal last time, and he did that on the quiet. But
he signed next year, making $44 million, and then he's a free agent in 2023.
That money's not. But like I said, that money's not going. That LeBron money's not going to mean anything. The Russell Westbrook money means more because
he ain't not restricted either. So he can just pick up and leave.
Yeah,
bro.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Imagine now you got Darius Garland 3 years in the league. You got Colin Sexton. You got Jared Allen. And LeBron decides to come home and say, I'm going to play at home for the last 2 years or last year of my career. Listen, even if LeBron still got to play, he don't got to play massive minutes.
They have to draft Bronny or he's not going.
He's not going to go high in the draft, so they can get him. It's not a problem. I don't think he's going to go high.
But it depends on. We're just talking about Cleveland rising.
Watch the Knicks. Watch the Knicks take him in the first round and then hope that they get LeBron to sign a contract.
LeBron will
burn every bit of New York.
You know that's what New York gonna do. New York is like, let's draft this guy high. No one expects us to draft it high. But remember that thing LeBron said he'll play for any team that has his son. Draft his son. He'll finally come to New York.
Right.
I can guarantee you.
And then they'll do something stupid like do a sign and trade and send LeBron's son someplace else.
And I'm not gonna hold you
after LeBron gets signed.
And I'm not
gonna do a sign and trade for LeBron and Bronny.
I'm not even gonna hold you. Tavia's gonna get mad, but that'll be the day that I actually make it to the Garden and piss on what's the name on James Dolan's desk. It's gonna happen. I'm so serious.
I guarantee you, this will be the conversation in the Knicks war room the day of that draft. They will sit there like, we've been wanting to get LeBron James since he was like 19 years old. Let's draft his son. He said he'll go to any team that drafts his son.
If they get Zion, they don't need him. Just get fucking rid of Randall for Christ's sake. I'm sick of him.
Yeah, I'm tired of talking. I'm already tired of talking about the Knicks, and we just said something about them. Like I'm really tired of talking about them. But we're gonna go to the NFL. The NFL has a lot to unpack, but we're gonna save that for the end. The Major League Baseball, them people. We finally have a collective bargaining agreement that everybody seems to agree on, which, but as I look at some of the high points of it, it's okay. It looks better than what I thought it was going to be. But the season starts April 7th, sorry. April 7th. Yep. The universal DH rule is now in place, meaning that every team will now have a designated hitter, and some teams, the pitchers, will be hitting. So that will be very interesting, especially when games go long. 12-team postseason with the two top division winners earning first-round buys. So that's going to be a whole bunch of fighting in these divisions now because they have something to fight for again. Advertising through patches on jerseys and decals on helmets. That's basically like what the NBA is doing with the patches on the jerseys. So and the WNBA with the names of the companies everywhere on their jerseys. No runners on base to start extra innings. I highly dislike that when I was going into extra innings and just a man on base, and I'm just like, wow, the game is about to be over. But I think essentially that was okay, but I honestly want to see people get on base themselves. The minimum salary starting at $700,000, which is a 23% increase. It's not the complete increase that they wanted. I believe they wanted $750,000, right?
Yep. But a 23% increase is unprecedented.
Yes.
It's a record.
Also, and new rules to prevent service time manipulation and a cap on the number of times a player can be sent down to the minors a year. The service time manipulation, what is that, Peter?
So what would happen is, you have rookies, you've had these big name rookies in the minor leagues, and it was if you call them up before a certain time, so you would see teams that would not put a rookie on the opening day roster. They would not be on the major league roster on opening day, and usually they'd call them up like usually around the end of April, the middle of May. And what that would essentially do is they would not play in a certain percentage of games. They would not be on a major league roster for a certain percentage of games, which will essentially allow them to retain rookie status the following year. Because I believe it was like you had to be on a major league roster for like more than 80% of the games or something like that. I forget what the percentage was. But what teams would do is that they would intentionally leave somebody who's going to be a star rookie in the minors, call them up after that percentage of games has passed to ensure that that player would stay on a rookie salary, on a rookie deal for longer. And it was kind of a way for the teams to have more control over these players. And a lot of people were getting pissed at it, especially the players, because they're like, if we're good enough to be on a major league roster on opening day, why are we not there? And so this is really a big thing. And I really like the cap on sending guys down to the minors, because it's really going to see how good a team can be in making these moves. So you have these things here where now, they would do this where they bring a guy up just to send them back down 2 days later, and then bring that guy up and then send him down, because he'd have like these unlimited options to send him down to the minor leagues. Well, now you don't got that. And now you got to be very, very specific about how many times you're doing it to a certain player. And once you run out of those options, when you send somebody down to the minor league and they have no more minor league options left, they can decline the assignment and go into free agency.
So that's going to be a game changer for sure, because you're basically holding rookie status on somebody that's probably a monster already, and continuing to build on that just to bring them up at whenever you want them to be up, which, you're manipulating the system. I do believe that these rules that's in effect now, these are things that the players wanted for a while, since the last time they were speaking, like 2 years ago. Or a year and a half ago, if I'm not mistaken, before they came back. Right. That universal DH rule was something that me and you were talking about extensively, like last time.
Here it is. I apologize. Really quickly, just sorry to interrupt. So, service time is essentially the amount of time that a player has been on an active MLB roster or the injured list, and a player becomes a free agent immediately at the end of a season where they reach 6 years of service time. 1 year of service time is 172 days. So basically, and a baseball season is 187 days. So the player essentially cannot miss more than 15 games. If they are on a minor league roster, they're not added to the major league roster, or they're not on the injured reserve. for if they're not on that for more than 15 days, what ends up happening is you could play the rest of the season and still not have a full year, which means teams could essentially get a 7th year out of you. So teams will wait usually 16 days to call up a monster prospect, which would mean that instead of them being under the team control for 6 years, they'd be under team control for 7 years on a rookie deal.
Right. So saving the team an enormous amount of money without having to sign this prospect, this future star. Like, imagine this. I feel like this is something that would happen to like a Mike Trout.
I think it did happen to Mike Trout.
I think it did. Yeah. So the whole Mike Trout, who's one of the best players, on a rookie deal for 7 years when he's been putting up legendary numbers is insane. Like, so I'm glad the players got that.
A big thing about this, I mean, the universal DH is a big thing. I mean, even though there are some National League pitchers who can hit, so we're not fully getting rid of the pitcher hitting. You can still have your pitcher hit. You just lose your DH, and then your pitchers have to hit, and you have to do the constant rotation. So you might see some National League teams that'll stick with their pitcher hitting instead of going with the DH. But the universal DH does help because now the National League teams can build their teams differently. American League teams have always been built differently from National League teams because American League teams would carry less pitchers because they didn't need as many because their pitchers never hit. So they would carry extra hitters. So now you have DH guys. And in the National League, you carried more pitchers because you were, after about 6 innings, you were usually pinch hitting for somebody and then bringing in a new pitcher. And then pinch hitting another 2-3 innings, depending on how far you played that pitcher out and how good your offense was, and you brought in another pitcher. That's a big thing. But in my opinion, the biggest thing that came out of this that a lot of people aren't talking about is the advertising. It's really going to help a lot of those small market teams be able to bring in a lot of extra revenue because, listen, you have those small market teams that have good seasons, like when Kansas City a couple of years ago made that big 2-year run where they went to the World Series for 2 years straight.
Right.
And guess what? Those Kansas City fans were coming out to see them. People were coming out to see the Kansas City Royals. They were a really good team. But as good as the baseball fandom is in Kansas City, it's like with basketball. How many people are paying to go see, go back a couple of years, how many people were paying to go see the Bobcats play? Unless a star came to town or unless it was a major player coming in from a road team, right? And it's the same thing with some of these small market teams. They have some great baseball fans in markets like Pittsburgh and Arizona and Kansas City and Minnesota and a lot of these smaller markets. But the fact of the matter is, if those teams are not having good years, the fans aren't really coming out unless the Yankees are coming in or Mike Trout and the Angels are coming in or another one of these big name series is happening. And this advertising is really going to help these small market teams offset a lot of that revenue loss that they get because they're not selling out the stadium like the Yankees are. The Yankees announced the season sold out before the season starts.
Right.
You can I would guarantee you could probably walk up to the Kansas City Royals ticket booth
catch that.
for about 60%
of
games.
Pete Cousins buying all the Yankee tickets.
Yep. all them motherfuckers that's in the Bronx and Washington Heights.
You could probably, I would almost guarantee you could probably walk up to the gate, to the ticket booth for about 60%, if not more, Kansas City Royals game and buy a ticket the day of the game. That's not happening for your Yankee games a lot of times.
It happens for Cyclones.
All right.
What?
All right.
I was a Cyclone fan. What? The Cyclones was dope. One of the biggest attractions in Luna Park.
In Coney Island, yes. Okay. So,
and we're getting a full season. We're getting a full season
Yep,
which
I was
is
about to
good.
say that. Yes, we are getting a full season. There will be some doubleheaders. There's going to be some nasty little doubleheaders on there, but we will be getting doubleheaders on these games, and they're going to be played full games, doubleheaders, 9-inning games. I know. Was it last season where they shortened the game? For
7 innings, yeah. Doubleheaders were 7-inning games.
Yeah, it was 7 innings. We're getting full 9-inning games for doubleheaders. So let's see how this affects the players because, like I said, we're almost quote unquote out of the COVID loop, but
man, out of the loop, some Kyrie could play games.
Let's see. Well, look, that's only in New York. So, moving forward, the NFL, because this is a lot this week.
They've been on 10 this week.
Yeah, they've definitely been on 10. We're gonna start with something that just happened a little bit before we came on air, and it is Joe Buck going to ESPN. No, I hate Joe Buck.
That's a big deal. ESPN Monday Night Football basically just stole the whole Fox team. They got Troy Aikman and Joe Buck.
I don't like Joe Buck. Joe Buck's voice is annoying.
No, you got Joe Buck and Troy Aikman going to ESPN. You got Mike Tirico replacing Al Michaels at NBC. Al Michaels still don't have a home. He might go to Amazon for their Thursday night football games. You got Kirk Herbstreit, who's now going to be the lead play-by-play guy for Thursday night football.
He's been getting better with this. I'm not going to lie. He's been getting better. With his side shots, he's been getting a lot better with it. I'm not going to hold you. You're going to Amazon. I like that one. That was because
he is. Amazon is broadcasting Thursday night football. So now they need Amazon Prime, their Prime games. They need they want to have a top level thing. So they're trying to get Al Michaels. I'm not lying. I'm not lying.
That's the crazy part because he's dead ass too.
They're trying to get Al Michaels, who got replaced by Mike Tirico, Syracuse alum, go Orange, over at NBC. And they just signed Kirk Herbstreit from ESPN to be the play-by-play guy for the Thursday night games. And he's still going to do college for ESPN.
It's a double check.
Now who calling the World Series? We don't got Joe Buck to call the World Series. Joe Buck been calling the World Series since 1996.
Well,
I'm not
that means it's just time for him to stop.
I watch football on mute.
I don't watch football on mute. I watch whatever games Joe Buck is announcing on mute.
No, I play music watching it. I'm not gonna lie.
You know what it was? You remember?
They should get Pat McAfee.
They should get Pat McAfee.
Keep him where he's at because he's gold.
You remember when JR was doing
Byron Saxton?
Oh God! You remember when JR was doing commentary for New Japan and it was just really really bad. I remember he did the New Japan pay-per-view when it was Cody and Kenny, and in that match, and it was just oh God, bro! Like when I rewatched
Mauro Ranallo.
Yes.
No, watch. You know what they're gonna do? No, you know what they're gonna do? Watch Fox try to get Stephen A. Smith to call football.
That I don't think he's leaving ESPN for nothing.
He's never leaving ESPN. He owns ESPN.
No, but he can make a side. Listen, Kirk Herbstreit didn't leave ESPN. He's still the top guy for ESPN College Game Day, doing all their college football. But he signed a side deal with Amazon to be the lead play-by-play guy for their Thursday night football.
But I feel like because Amazon is a partner with ESPN in some sort of faction to where it wasn't an issue. That it could be, but it could be just a regular side deal too. You know what, Pete? I think I'm going to call you Butch now too. Your name's going to be. All right.
You don't call me one of the bushwhackers. Better call me Luke.
No, your name is going to be Butch. But the real news that we were getting to is Deshaun Watson is not
in that case.
Oh God, Deshaun Watson is not facing any criminal charges for the 22 sexual assault allegations that he had.
I really feel like
don't tell Tay that.
I really feel like we should talk about that on After the Year. I'm not gonna hold you because I feel like that's gonna go left.
What is it to go left? I think that
he's still getting a civil suit, so it's still the
He's still-
accusation.
Yeah, but I think
yes.
the civil suit. Listen, not having any criminal charges, I think is really going to open up the fact that the civil suits are probably going to get settled. Probably it's going to be less now. I think this hurts these women. I'm not going to sit here and discredit what these women went through or their stories. And the fact that he did not get not a single criminal charge is really going to hurt these women, because in their fight for some kind of restitution, it's now going to be harder in the civil cases, in my opinion. It makes it more likely, though, it's probably going to get to a settlement. But I'm going to disagree with Andre. I think this is exactly what opens the door to teams being willing to trade for him. Listen, we heard all of last year when he still had all these criminal things on him that Miami was gaga about him, that Carolina was gaga about him.
Still is.
You know, right? And now we got Seattle needs a quarterback.
Pittsburgh
need a quarterback. A whole bunch of teams need a quarterback. So,
especially Cleveland.
And I'm sorry, if you go on the back of the football card, Deshaun Watson is kind of a shiny, nice quarterback to have. I take him over Mitch Trubisky.
Pittsburgh need to make that happen. They lost.
I know why you saying that. I know why you saying it, because Pittsburgh is for the niggas. But I think my thing is 22 women, bro.
That's why I said it's kind of hard to touch, because
it's 22 for me. Now we're gonna be real. 22 women is a lot of. It's a lot, and
how do you not get a charge though? Like, how do you
that
makes you think something? Never mind. I'm not saying nothing. I'm not getting.
But
that.
I'm also think that the justice system isn't always.
Never was.
But it's
more or less built to put us down than anything. He's a rich black privileged athlete.
But that's the thing. You got a lot of people who are out here celebrating the fact, like, okay, the black man is innocent. Finally, a black man found innocent. All these women came out, black man innocent. Listen, Dre's got a point. Tavia was saying this for a long time. 1, okay, maybe a mistake. 2, okay, maybe a misunderstanding. 3, hard to explain. 22 women with similar stories. How did he at least not get a slap on the wrist? Listen, I can't understand how you got 22 women. You can't tell me that 22 women all made up the same story.
Bill Cosby just got locked up for like a couple years ago. Yeah, you remember when Bill Cosby? I haven't said it just got locked up because it's been a couple years. It's been a couple years, right?
He out eating pudding.
Done with you.
Anyway, he's been out. He's been out for some time, but he had accusations of sexual assault that spanned from decades. So you're telling me Bill Cosby, one of the richest black men of all time, can get indicted and go to jail for sexual assault charges, but Deshaun Watson had 22 women,
one charge,
and not one charge.
I really got opinions, but I'm not touching this topic with a 10-foot pole. You're not gonna get me canceled. I'm sorry, it's not happening. There's just so much.
It ain't nothing to get canceled. Listen, we can.
I say that. Pete, hold on. I say that because then, when this story first broke, you said it in your head. You said it yourself. It's kind of weird the timing in all of this, right? There's that, and then you again, it's just a slippery slope. That topic, all in all, 22 women. That's not easy to sneeze at or to doubt. You can't make 22 women make up the same damn story. But for him not to get no charge for it, that's kind of weird because it got presented to the Supreme Court, did it not? It got presented.
The grand jury.
It got presented to them. they ultimately decide whether or not, they're going to push forward with it. So what happened? What was presented that they felt like it was not necessary to go forward?
And I think that's something that's going to come out in the weeks coming, because this conversation is going to come up again, because it's
when he gets traded, it's going to be the conversation.
It's going to be the conversation. But what Matt just said hit the nail on the head. What was stated? What evidence was produced to where the grand jury was like, nah, fam, this ain't it.
It's not enough.
Like,
it's not,
yeah, like 22 women and
22 women and
something's
nothing?
not enough.
Like
bro,
nothing?
I think we can all admit.
That's sick,
from the beginning of this, from the timing of when this happened, to the amount of people that came out, to as long as this has gone on, to the fact that people still wanted to trade for him while he was under a criminal investigation, to the fact that we are here today on Friday, March 11th of 2022, talking about how he got cleared of not one criminal charge out of 22 complaints. There is a lot weird with this situation. A lot that just, look, I'm going to use one of Matt's favorite lines. Make it make sense. Because a lot of this don't make sense. These puzzle pieces don't fit together. Not no way, no how.
And none of us are here saying, none of us are here saying, put this man in jail right now. Nobody's saying that.
We just
Tay saying that.
Tay saying that. Yeah, but I'm not. When also on the flip side of that, I'm not discrediting the women that this happened to. So something is off. Something is off completely.
Because I'm sitting there thinking he's black, he's an athlete.
Yeah,
it's 22 women.
Yeah,
and it's Texas.
Sean.
And it's Texas.
Yeah,
Pete is Texas. A black athlete. Make it make sense.
Right.
Make it
right. And again, this does not stop. Everybody who listens to the Yerrr Sports Show, understand this. This does not stop the NFL from suspending him. Right? The NFL could still turn around and suspend him.
And they'll do their own independent investigation like they usually do and find a reason to suspend him.
That was the thing. They could have did that, and they never did it for the same thing. There's something that's not.
They did say, Goodell did come out and say that they were going to wait to see how the criminal investigation and the civil investigation came out.
Yeah,
if the criminal case got thrown out, the civil case might get thrown away too.
No, many times. But listen, OJ was found innocent, but the civil side, he lost so much money on that civil side. There are a lot of times when the criminal case you'll get off on the criminal case and get fucked on the civil case.
OJ's stupid.
Yeah, OJ is wild. That was definitely that's not a bad comparison in terms of cases. In terms of
I got it.
And but moving on from that, because that's gonna. I swear to God, that's gonna come up for like a month from now, and something
I don't want to talk about that damn shit. Like I really don't, because it's so hard to talk about like sexual assault and women and like allegations, and it's
so hard to talk. It's really hard, honestly, as men. And I know we're veering a little bit away from sports, but as men, it's hard to talk about sexual assault. Where yes, men are sexual assault victims, and it happens more times.
It just happened, Chris Brown.
And it happens more times than it is documented.
Listen,
women,
we are doing a better job. We are doing a better job as three men talking about a sensitive topic such as sexual assault. We are doing a better job than Tyshawn Jackson and Ryan Catchins talking about high earning women. Okay. We are doing a much better job.
Yeah, that was wild. That was wild. And again, I'm not trying to give us a pat on the back. Like I said, we're not discrediting these women's stories. A lot of this is just.
There's no way. It
needs to make sense for us. It needs to make sense for us to bring this topic up again. But moving on from that. Moving on. Moving on from that.
Like, it's literally Jim Crow, Texas. Like, I'm trying to make it make
Sundown, sense. Texas, man.
Like,
look, check this out. So, Rodgers and Adams are back in Green Bay. We all said this. No, we got to talk about it. Because I thought we were done talking about Aaron Rodgers for the entire for the last, like, when the football season's over, and I was like, we're done with Aaron Rodgers. But Rodgers and Adams are back, and I don't know if they're going to have a team. I don't know if they're
looking better than the Cowboys are right now. They're about to lose like 3 freaking players. 3 key players.
Cowboys start releasing people because they don't got money to sign everybody. So, but we don't want to talk about the Cowboys either. So, let's like talk about the Knicks. Rodgers and Adams are back in Green Bay. Matt, should Rodgers have just left and went about his business?
I was more or less on the fact that I felt like he was disrespected. He needs to restart, refresh, do something different. Mm-hmm. But we always said that his best chances of winning is Green Bay in that conference. But because you damn sure don't want him to go to the other side where the wealth of quarterback and talent on that other side is dangerous.
We've been waiting for you, Aaron.
Yeah, because it's more like on some Bray Wyatt, like, let him in. He was to come on that side, like it would be spooky. But I don't like, honestly. I felt like he would have, his best chances were Green Bay, unless he went to like Denver, like Russell Wilson did, or like if he went to New Orleans, because or Tennessee. No, I thought he would. I thought if he was going to leave, he would have went to Tennessee. That would have been his best chance outside of Green Bay. But I mean, we all know Green Bay was his best chance of succeeding. I just need for him to succeed in the postseason. So that's shut up, Pete. Shut up. Sick of y'all.
Pete, real quick, Aaron Rodgers. Adams got franchise tag, so he had no choice. So,
where you going? Where you going?
Yo, the franchise tag got to be like the most hoish shit of all time. Yo, I'm ready to go. Oh, you think you're ready to go? Tag, you in. Pete, should Rodgers have gone to greener pastures or someplace else?
Aaron Rodgers is a hoe. Aaron Rodgers is a hoe.
I can't even combat that. He's right.
And let me say this. If anybody, okay, has existential extended experience with hoes, please understand I grew up right down the block from Hunts Point in the Bronx. So I done seen some hoes in my lifetime. Okay.
I thought you were gonna say something totally different, but I'm happy you did.
Disgusting.
I just see some hoes. Okay. Aaron Rodgers, a hoe.
Real bad hoe.
Okay. Aaron Rodgers, the hoest of hoes. Cause I kind of wish, and I'm gonna literally give credit to my boy, my brother Justin, who said this in another group chat that I'm a part of. My boy for so many years. I just wish Aaron Rodgers would have come out and said, I want to be the highest paid player in the NFL. Just come out and say that. Just come out and say, I want to be the highest paid player. Okay? Because you just signed a contract, Aaron, 4 years, $200 million. That'll not only make you the highest paid player in the league this year, it makes you the highest paid player in league history. Not to mention you get $153 million of that 200 guaranteed. Okay. I wish Aaron Rodgers would just come out and said, I want to be the highest paid player. Because at least I'd have respected that. I'd have respected. You was out here for the last 2 years talking about oh, Green Bay ain't building, doing this. I don't feel appreciated. I don't feel like they talk to me enough concerning moves. I feel like they don't include me enough. I feel like they don't treat me like other players, other teams treat their star quarterbacks. Blah blah blah. Shut up. You wanted to be the highest paid player in football, and I wish you would have just said that and use a hoe. And I'm gonna say this now. Book it right now. Put it down in the history books. On Friday, March 11, 2022, I say it. Aaron Rodgers will not win another Super Bowl with Green Bay. I'm going to say it now. He will not win another Super Bowl with Green Bay. And by the way, Jordan Love, beat the shit out of Aaron Rodgers because he just clipped your balls out from under you. He just basically said, you not needed. Use a basic, you know what, trade this mofo. Because that's all Jordan Love is now. Jordan Love is a trade piece for the Green Bay Packers.
Aaron Rodgers said, fuck them kids. Get them out of here.
Literally.
You sat here. You sat here for years and you bitched and complained and cried about the way Brett Favre treated you when the Packers drafted you, and Favre didn't show you any respect, and Favre didn't take you under his wing, and that was the worst thing. And you just did this to Jordan Love. Shut the fuck up, Aaron Rodgers. I don't want to hear Aaron Rodgers' name. Not no more. He a hoe. That's it. Aaron Rodgers a hoe. End of story.
So, quick question: you was going to rebuild with Jordan Love?
No.
Okay. All right.
But I also wasn't going to treat him. I ain't going to treat him like he a bottom. You know what?
Well, fuck them kids, like Aaron Rodgers said. Fuck them kids.
I've said a lot of curse words. I ain't saying that one, Dre.
Aaron Rodgers said, "Fuck that kid."
Aaron Rodgers a hoe.
Get him out of here.
Shoot. Denver said fuck them kids too. Russell Wilson got traded to Denver, and
did we have a conversation? Who gonna last for Seattle longer?
Who's gonna go first? We had a whole conversation about who's gonna go first. I think it's gonna be Pete Carroll, Russell Wilson asked in
I said that on this show. Russell going to go
about to own everything in Denver. Like
Pete Carroll going next. I give it a year or two. Pete Carroll going next.
Yo, did you see the there was a picture on Instagram and it said the Legion of Boom is officially gone, and then it had
because how they released Bobby Wagner. They released Bobby Wagner. I think it was the same day that they traded Russ. They released Bobby Wagner, who was the last remaining player after Russ. Well, on the defensive side of the ball, he was the last remaining player from that Super Bowl defense.
Yeah, they're in a rebuild. They're completely in a rebuild
now. Pete Carroll reminds me of Jerry Sloan. Just the way they look.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't like Jerry Sloan that much either.
I didn't care for him.
But you know what? And I don't think this is something that people talked about enough after this Russell Westbrook trade. I'm sorry, but Denver, in my opinion, becomes
Russell Wilson. I'm tired. I'm mad we talked about Russell Wilson first because I keep calling Russell Wilson Russell Westbrook.
Russell Wilson just made and listen, the Broncos outside of draft picks did not give up anything significant player-wise.
The tight end.
Yeah, but they still got the wide receivers.
Yeah.
They still got the wide receivers. They still got a really good defense. Yeah, they lost the defensive lineman, but they still got a really good defense. They have a better offensive line than Seattle did. Okay. Denver immediately has to go into the playoff discussion. And in my opinion, over this past week, the AFC West has become the most dangerous division in football because you've still got the Chiefs. The Chiefs are still the Chiefs. They still got Patrick Mahomes. They still got that team. So you still got the Chiefs. You now have Denver, who was good without having a decent quarterback. Okay. You got a very good Denver team now. You have a very good and young Chargers team that just re-signed Mike Williams. And you have the scrappy Raiders. That is a very dangerous division in football right now.
Talking about the AFC West?
Yeah.
Yeah, that division ain't been scary like that in a long time.
You've got three nasty quarterbacks in that division. In Mahomes, in Herbert, and in Russ right now.
With Khalil Mack going to damn Los Angeles to the Chargers, Jesus, bro. Like
him and Joey Bosa on the same side of the ball.
Yeah, mad teams in Los Angeles.
Way too many.
Yo, did y'all notice like California has had 4 NBA teams, right? 4 NBA teams and 2 NFL teams.
Sacramento,
Clippers, Lakers, Warriors.
Oh,
yeah.
And
they got a couple of baseball teams.
You
got the Dodgers, the Angels, the Giants, the Padres, the Athletics.
God fucking damn! Like,
why do they have all? Yo, they have all this
5 fucking teams. Yo,
they have 5 baseball teams. They have a hockey team and 2 NFL teams. At one point, they had 3 NFL teams. So, like,
greedy bastards. They always trying to get a championship in that damn that damn state.
Yeah, it's only going to be one parade this year, though, so it's okay.
Really?
But so Khalil Mack adds a lot of experience. I'm surprised they sent him to the Chargers, though. Not saying that the Chargers aren't good. The Chargers are really good this year. But this makes the Chargers not a contender for the Super Bowl, but definitely like somebody's gonna mess up somebody's chances of getting to the damn Super Bowl or getting to the playoffs. What was the next trade?
Andre, send Kentucky to Cali. They'll give you a professional team. Y'all got to get rid of Kentucky first. Y'all got to get rid of Kentucky first.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, Cali has 3 hockey teams. I forgot. Yep. Jesus Christ. So what else happened? The Panthers are open to trading McCaffrey, but if I'm the Panthers, I'd have been open to trading McCaffrey a whole long time ago.
Can you believe we have 2 running backs, 2 top level running backs possibly on the trade market with McCaffrey and the Giants willing to listen to offers for Saquon Barkley?
They should trade them for each other.
Why? He barely played. Oh yeah, well, both injury prone.
They both the same, bro. They both injury prone. Saquon Barkley is just a smidge bit younger than McCaffrey. So,
in other words, you're just basically saying y'all just not plotting to get better at all. That's what I got out of your shit. Yeah.
We didn't get Russell Wilson, so what we gonna do now? We got built through the draft, and the Giants don't draft good, so good. We'll be all right.
Bring back my man Jake Delhomme. That was a great quarterback.
Jesus Christ, no! Leave Jake Delhomme where you at.
Jake Delhomme come at me, want to go home. Throwing the ball to Musa Muhammad and Steve Smith. Those were some good Panther teams.
Yes, they were. Steve Smith is a fucking menace too. Like,
same size as my daughter,
and he bowed it too, though. Like, oh man, Cisco might be the same size as your daughter, though. Actually,
probably. I wouldn't doubt it.
Okay. But
the Khalil Mack thing that is kind of scary. I'm not going, but McCaffrey, that's like, who's really going to pick him up? I don't think he's the same player he was like in 2018 when he had that big year.
Yeah, when he was
it 2018? 2018,
right? Back in 2018, 2019, I believe.
Yeah.
He's a tradable asset because it goes back to what we were saying. We always say about certain pieces. Like, we go back to street clothes, Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
someone is going to do it. Someone's gonna bring the house.
You gotta have a resume. You have a resume. That resume stands over everything.
Right, with the belief of, well, once we get him, he won't be injury prone, and then boom, legs like spaghetti. So
poor Adrian Peterson.
Poor Adrian Peterson, who keeps getting a job and not getting a job because he wants to. I know he wants to go for a record. I think
he's gonna be like Jamal Lewis at the end of his career that was just getting picked up by teams.
Yeah, picked up and dropped. That's gonna suck. Were there any other trades that happened? There was something else that happened that I don't have listed here. I feel like something else happened.
Your boy Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about Carson Wentz. Sorry. Carson Wentz went to the Commanders. Okay, next. Like that'll do nothing. That don't really do anything for the Commanders. Actually, make them worse at quarterback.
Stupid quarterback.
So Carson Wentz. We're being transparent. Carson Wentz did not have a bad season this year. He did not have a bad season this year, but Jonathan Taylor carried them Colts. So, so let's see what the Commanders do. They have one of the best defenses in the league. They are kind of playoff busters in that NFC East division only because that NFC East is not the best, and then the rest of the NFC is a little shaky at times, especially with Tom Brady not being in Tampa.
It's all Green Bay now.
Green Bay has basically the green light to do whatever.
It's Green Bay and LA.
Yeah.
Pretty much it.
Yeah. Like I said, Taylor is the reason why Wentz did not have a bad season because Taylor made sure Wentz didn't have to throw the ball.
He's going to have his best games against Philly and Dallas. I guarantee it.
I think Dallas is going to trounce the Commanders.
Bro,
Philly, on the other hand, is going to be different.
We're talking about the Cowboys, bro.
You're right.
Listen, but I'm going to tell you this one. If some of the rumors going around is that the reason why he was having issues in Indy was because of personality issues, and he really was having issues with Frank Reich because he didn't really like the way that Frank Reich was coaching him. Bless you, Dre. That he didn't really like the hard coaching that Frank Reich was giving him. It ain't gonna get better under Ron Rivera. I tell you that much.
He sucks.
Ron Rivera gonna put some fire to that boy. And
listen, yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna be real with you, and I'm gonna take this straight from his mouth. A man, a sports analyst, and a reporter that I have admired my entire life. Like people talk about marking out over meeting a big name sports star or somebody. This is a man that if I met him, I'd probably be a little speechless for a little bit. But like my man Mike Wilbon said,
panties gonna get wet.
But listen, if I got on a PTI set with Wilbon and Kornheiser, it'd be a whole different. Listen, I would not know how to act.
You know, PTI, he said.
But Wilbon said it, and he's got a point. You know, Dre, you said that Wentz didn't have a bad season. And statistically, numbers-wise, if you look at the back of the football card, and I took the name off, if I took the name off and I showed you the stats, shit, Carson Wentz is a great quarterback to have. Much better than who they had already right now. But let's be honest. We have watched with our own eyes. We have watched Carson Wentz play. He is not as good as the numbers say he is. He is straight doo-doo. He's sorry.
He's not that guy.
Carson Wentz is the one quarterback. Carson Wentz is the one quarterback I think Baker Mayfield is better than.
Listen, I'm at the point with Carson Wentz that I would rather sign Johnny Manziel. Okay, that's how bad I think Carson Wentz is. I'm going to be real with you. And I'm being a little bit facetious, but
or Tim Tebow.
I'm sorry. Hey, Tim Tebow won 7 straight games for a team, took them to the playoffs. But listen, you know what Tim Tebow never did? You know what Tim Tebow never did? He never threw some dumbass pass underhanded outside the end zone that led to a pick 6 by a dude just jumping. Okay, and if you ain't seen that clip, go see the clip.
Why are we just throwing underhanded passes? Like,
and listen, y'all know how much I hate this team, but you know who I'd take over Carson Wentz? Rex goddamn Grossman. That's who I'd take.
So you take Mitchell Trubisky over?
I'd take goddamn Mitch Trubisky over goddamn Carson Wentz at this point. I'm sorry. I can't with Carson Wentz. He's not as good as everybody says he is. I don't see it. And I keep watching him thinking, am I missing something? Is there something that I don't see? Because I don't see it. I don't see it.
No, he's a white quarterback. That's all.
But you know what? I wish him luck in Washington. I hope Washington has a good season. That's a crappy division. What, in my opinion, Washington's got the second best quarterback in the division, and that's not saying a lot.
No, you
because
don't.
it's Dak, it's Carson Wentz, and then you got Daniel Jones and you got Jalen Hurts.
I would take Jalen Hurts over Carson Wentz. You're bugging.
Now Wentz got the experience.
Experience
of being ass.
What?
Experience of being ass.
Yo, out of here.
What? Okay.
I'll take Danny Dimes over that motherfucker right now. Like,
yeah, Carson Wentz can sit on the bench, bro, like and pass out water. But somebody
Carson Wentz got a job at Colin Kaepernick don't.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Ryan Tannehill's a bum too. I would take him over Carson Wentz. That's saying something.
At least Ryan Tannehill go get the ball out of his damn hands and not take a million sacks.
But still suck though. But you know.
Yeah. That was a bad couple picks by me. But anyway, for the main event, for the final topic of the night, this man Calvin Ridley. Uncle Shay.
No, you got it right, Ripley. Ripley's didn't believe it or not. Nigga, stupid.
Mr. Ridley bet $1,500 and lost $11.5 million. You gotta love when millionaires lose money because over the stupidest things. Like, yo, bro, you are a millionaire. Why you I bet $1,500? Everything all right, player? What? You bet $1,500.
This is literally an experiment. This is literally a social experiment over hashtag how stupid can you be? Right? Calvin Ridley, the announcement that Calvin Ridley was getting suspended for the year because he bet on the Atlanta Falcons came out. And instead of Calvin Ridley taking his L and shutting up, or instead of Calvin Ridley denying that he did it, like most people would do, like Pete Rose did for 50 years, Calvin Ridley went on Twitter. Calvin Ridley went on Dumbass Central, a.k.a. Twitter.
Dumbass Central.
And said, bro, only bet $1,500. Shut up! Shut your dumb ass up. This is why you suspended, because you were dumb fuck. That's why. I only bet $1,500. That's like the cop pulling you over because he said you look like you drunk. I only had 2 beers. Shut up. Shut up. Like, this is why people need to stay. Go to school, kids. Go to school. Stay in school. This is why we need to stay in school. Because you got dumb fucks like Calvin. I only bet $1,500.
Matt, would you, if you was on the NFL team, This is why I thought this is stupid, because I'm sure plenty of people do this and just don't get caught. But
it's not stupid. He did it more than one time. It's even more stupider.
Right, it's worse because you did it twice. More than
did
once.
it more than twice. More than twice.
It's crazy. How you go bet
Five.
on your team? Your team ass. Like
This says Falcon receivers has reportedly bet on more games than what was initially reported. He bet more than 3,900 on 6 separate wagers that included Falcon games. 5 of the bets were parlays that included Atlanta's money line, while one was 1,300 in game wagers on Atlanta's team total that was made in the second half of the Falcons' 21-14 victory against the Jaguars. Yeah.
Nigga put money against the
If you're gonna bet
Jaguars.
on games, don't bet on the games that your stupid ass is playing in, dick. It's them damn 90 babies.
So I can only imagine these conversations that he's having with Matty Ice. Like, yo, listen, bro, listen, my parlay, bro. I need a couple catches, bro. I'm gonna make some bread. You got me, bro. Yeah. And then Matty Ice is like, yeah, I got you. As long as I don't throw an interception, yeah, I got you.
Them damn 90 babies, man. Stupid ass
Stay in
baby,
school,
man.
kids.
Hey.
Stay in school, kids.
Hey, nigga, relax. He a stupid ass 90 baby. He don't got
And
nothing to
you
do with
know, and you know the NFL is probably paying more attention to this, considering the fact that they just signed this landmark deal, these landmark deals with FanDuel and DraftKings and all these places. What, maybe only about 2-something years ago. So you know they got a team. What was it we were talking about when everybody was talking about the Raiders moving to Vegas? What did we say? We gotta worry. We gotta worry about team. Now they're gonna be gambling. Now they're gonna be in the casino. And this dumbass in Atlanta, I only bet $1,500. Shut up.
Atlanta can't get right.
Get some lemon pepper wings and call it a night. Oh, what was his issue?
He could have went. He could have went to.
You could do literally
He could have went
anything.
with Lemon Pepper Lou to go to the strip club and get some wings.
That would have been the best bet.
He could have threw that 1,500 at some ass, like, and but I.
You could have went to Hunts Point and got a $40 special.
You could have bet on 30 other teams on any given week. 30 other teams on any given week. But no, not only do you choose to bet on the team that you play for, but then your dumb ass can't even cover the bet. At least cover the goddamn bet if you're going to bet on your team.
How much is his contract worth anyway? I'm just wondering.
Nothing.
$11.5 million this year. My man bet 1,500 and lost $12 million this year, bro. What in the blue hell, bro? Like,
he only makes $11 million
this year.
Nah. He signed a 4-year deal worth $10.9 million. And the 5th-year option worth just over 11.1.
The 5th year is worth $11 million. He's in his 5th year.
All right. Well, then you say
this was the option year. He lost his option year. Yeah.
Remember, and you know what's funny?
If the deal was for 5 years, $11 million, that sounds crazy. 5 years and only $11 million, or 5
4-year four-year deal, $10.9 million.
A year?
5th-year option, $10.9 million for a 4-year deal. No, it says worth. It's worth 10.9.
And that is
because I think this is still his like rookie this is after during his rookie contract, ain't it?
Yo.
Well, no, so yes. So Matt Matt is correct. He signed a 4-year deal from 2018 to 2021. A 4-year deal.
Oh my God!
Yo!
This is his option year that he was gonna get $11 million.
Yep.
Yo! Complete dickhead, boy.
Now my man's about to be a free agent begging for bread. Now I'm over it. No, I'm over it.
This was 50-year option year for. He was going to jump his salary. His salary was going to jump from $2 million to 11.1.
Damn 90s babies, yo. I swear I can't miss. I can't miss. This is bad. Only in Atlanta, boy. I swear.
Bro, Atlanta just can't get right, bro. Atlanta just can't get right.
Yo. Oh, man. Yes, he is. 100% he is. Damn. Yo. I think it's time.
You know what? You know what? Maybe this dumb dumb. Okay. Maybe this dumb dumb could go join up with AB and Kanye and they dumb asses who want to go buy the Denver Broncos.
You can't buy a team and then play for the team you want to.
He wants to go to Dallas.
You can't buy a team and then play for another NFL team. The conflict of interest is crazy on that. Bro, like, do people not understand that? Like, imagine. So now you want to play. AB wants to play in Dallas. He wants to buy the Denver Broncos. At some point in time in any NFL schedule, they may or may not play each other. So this might be the year that Denver and Dallas play each other again.
Why are we wasting time?
Isn't Denver in the NFC, right?
Jay, why are we wasting time on this conversation?
Denver's in the NFC.
Denver's in the NFC, so they might not play each other.
Allow this, Jay.
Yes. But my thing
NFL is not going to allow Kanye West to buy a football team.
I'm not talking about the Kanye West side of it. I'm talking about the Antonio Brown side of it. The Queen is joining us. Hold on. Special edition. What's up, Queen? Can you hear us? Hey, Queen. Hey.
What's up,
Queen?
Nothing.
Oh, show the
Chilling
hand.
at the Denny's.
Show the hand. Show the fit.
I'm picking up some food at the Denny's.
By the way, Queen, while you were gone, I gladly sat here and said that Aaron Rodgers is a hoe.
Ho.
Damn, don't kiss her ass because she back. Like,
kissing ass. You got a spot on your nose, Pete. Like right there.
Ho. A whole ho.
An entire ho.
I said he was.
And Matt admitted it too. That was the funny part.
I can't hear y'all that well, but I just want to come and say hi.
Hey, Queen. Can't wait to have you back. But, yo, that's crazy. But I'm trying to figure out. Antonio Brown knows this stuff already. I'm not concerned about Kanye.
I'm not putting that past him. I'm not giving him that much credit that he knows this. I'm not doing it.
Antonio Brown.
Queen is just tangent and then making faith on the camera.
First off, it takes billions with a B, billions of dollars to buy an NFL team. Kanye ain't scratching $1 billion, and Antonio Brown probably don't know how to spell $1 billion. Okay, how is Kanye and Antonio Brown, two men who need mental help, gonna sit here and buy the Denver Broncos? Make it make sense, Matt.
Do it make sense, Matt?
I don't know why we're talking about this. The NFL is not going to give Kanye West and AB no goddamn football team. Why are we talking about this?
Because it was funny.
This is stupid. It's not. It's dumb. I'm not. Look, Y'all ain't gonna steal my joy. I just finished the Kanye West documentary. I'm still a fan.
I just stopped
Y'all
on
not
and
gonna
say
steal my
hi,
joy.
guys. I'll see you guys probably in the next couple of weeks. Talk to you later. I'm heading
Later,
out.
All right, Queen, we
Later.
love you.
Love you.
Love you.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. But that was fun, guys. that was definitely fun. Shout out to the Job Chase Network, of course. Got a lot of big things coming up from them. Shouts to Pete. Pete has a lot of big things coming up as well. In the coming weeks, we'll be able to let everybody know what exactly is coming up. It's WrestleMania season, guys. I say, if not this coming week, which is going to be a little bit harder to record this coming week, not gonna lie to you, the week of Mania, as long as things are in terms of sports not crazy, maybe we can have a Mania episode. So I didn't know Kanye. I didn't know that.
And listen, really quickly, big shout out, because we are on the road to 100 episodes. We are on the road to 100. But big shout out to the Dirty Heels podcast. Kofi Weedston was on a little earlier. But big shout out to the Dirty Heels podcast for getting to 100 episodes. Congratulations, gentlemen, as the Yerrr Sports Show right behind you on that road to 100.
Shouts to the Dirty Heels podcast, man. Supporters and the big supporters, heavy supporters of us, had a lot of conversations with them as they were coming up, building their show. They're dope. Shouts to Mr. Black, who's in the comments.
Make it make sense, Mr. Black. Make it make sense.
Like I said, for many people,
Black on.
We do. After 100 episodes, we open the floodgates. After 100 episodes, we were opening the floodgates.
I'm not gonna hold you. Mr. Black be on Job and Tears. You be on Job and Tears saying some shit. I'm like, nah, son, nah, bro. I'm about to pull up on Job and Tears on the podcast one of these damn days, and we're gonna argue sports.
Yo, Mr. Black be making so much sense. Yo, Mr. Black be making, and so Janelle and Wilkins be doing it too. Don't get me wrong. They all three of them are great. But yo, Mr. Black be making some points on the JTP that people ain't ready to talk about and admit. Mr. Black be dropping some bombs that people not ready to talk about.
Yo, I still remember the last episode I was on, and I was with Kobe Weedston, and we was talking about the biddies, that group.
I heard that shit. I heard that shit.
So shouts to the group, the biddies.
And shout out to Kemba Walker. Shout out to Kemba Walker.
No, we're not. No. We're not in the episode like that. Hell no.
11 years ago.
You all shout out Kyrie Irving and KD and the Brooklyn Nets and what they did to the Sixers.
No, we're not doing that either. So, for the voice of a generation, Pete Rosado. For BK Matt, for the Queen Tay, it is your boy, Big Baby, signing off. Peace.
Daryl Morey is a hoe. You hear me?